Hey guys, how's it going today? It's Atsu. So today I would like to talk about how I improved my speaking ability in Japan. So as many of you may already know, I've been exposed to this English-speaking country, Australia, for more than 5 years now. And this fact might make my advice a little bit less convincing, but like a lot of you guys watching this video, I was born and raised in Japan, and my intensive English learning period began as I dived into my university exam prep period when I was 17. And I'm also confident that I successfully harnessed all the resources available in Japan to brush up my speaking ability to enable myself to communicate with English speakers. So today I'm going to introduce you to the 3 pillars that I built to improve my speaking ability in Japan. The first pillar was around routinizing speaking English to myself. So literally it is just speaking English to myself like you normally do in Japanese, but as you know, it's always easier said than done. So it was when I was a first-year university student that I started incorporating this practice into everyday life. But at the time, I had studied English only about a year, and I faced a number of frustrating situations. Even making one English sentence took me a huge amount of time and effort, and that made me crack and sometimes lose my cool. And you will most likely experience the same thing, but as soon as you start implementing this strategy, you will start to realize the effect of this practice kicking in, making a huge impact on your speaking ability. So I highly recommend you look for a space to fit this in, as I strongly believe that this is highly effective. The second pillar was based around talking to my friends in English. So if you have friends who are also learning English, take advantage of that by creating opportunities to speak English with them. So in order to illustrate what I mean by this, let me give you a bit of my personal story. So when I was a university student, I often studied English with my bestie at a place like McDonald's and Starbucks, and we made it a rule to speak English when communicating because we thought setting conditions to actively use the language was a key to leading to a successful global career and also English learning. And sometimes people around us were, staring us, probably thinking on their mind, like, why are these students who are apparently Japanese talking in English? But we didn't care, right? We knew that, that would make our life easier, and, that was the right approach to achieve our goals. And it also helped us maintain and further stimulate our motivation and gave us an opportunity to look at the pragmatic aspect of it. So whenever you think you can create such opportunities, you should definitely do so, because this is a great way of polishing your English speaking ability. The last pillar was built around actively interacting with English speakers. So for example, I made a personal commitment to talk to English speakers whenever I saw people speaking in English at Starbucks, because Starbucks was my go-to when I was studying English in Japan. And I often open the conversation by saying like, oh, today is pretty slow, isn't it? Or how many hours have you been here today? Or easy openers like these that could connect to the person are more than sufficient to start a conversation. And of course, you have to take a backseat if the person seems not keen to continue a conversation, but unless you try, nothing's gonna happen, right? And if you're successful in establishing the connection, the topic will naturally gravitate to more details and becomes more personal. And sometimes that gave me an opportunity to go out for dinner, go out for drinks, and chat about a variety of topics with wonderful people from all different parts of the world. So that was a great opportunity for me. That is all for today. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the fundamentals that we strategically create an English environment in Japan and build that into our learning. So the way you can establish the environment is not limited to what I've just introduced to you today. So please utilize this video as a reference point and build your own to achieve the best results. So thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye.